You did it. You installed an amplifier. And you may have spent all Saturday running the wires, making it look good, get it installed, and you're like all excited, and then you power it up and you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. Well, I'm here to make that disappointment into a big smile for you, okay? What I mean by that, a lot of times it comes to setting. I mean, if you got it powering up and it's turning on, you're 90% there, which just gets you down to that 1 yard line so you can score the touchdown. Get that excitement, the big smile. Also, I'm going to address anything if you have an amplifier in the car, you're trying to adjust it, because once again, it sounds muddy, not too much punch, not very deep bass. Let's go through where you, the guy putting it in, can adjust, make all the adjustments themselves and have a better result and get you 98% of the best possible performance you can possibly get. Sound good? Here we go, guys. Okay, guys, I know it's an unusual angle and we're going to deal with some focusing issues, but I want you to see exactly what there is in the vehicle. So as you can see, I have no input connected, okay? So the one thing you do with all of these amps when you start is take it and make sure these are all counterclockwise, okay? All the way to the left. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, for this section, I have a whole video on it, okay? Same with here. And bass boost is in my bonus section, okay? And it really is a very, very small 1% caveat of what's going on, okay? This, forget about it. All right, it's like using CCA wire. No, pure copper, only way, never want to have a discussion again. All right, bass boost, 99% of the time, never use it, okay? So what I wanted to show is this. You'll notice here that this low pass filter goes to 250. So a lot of people might think halfway is 125, okay? But it's not, because look, it started at 50 and at 250. So if you minus 50 from 250 is 200. So in this case, straight up and down is roughly 100 hertz, okay? So consequently, this would be about 75, okay? Because like I said, on this dial, and a lot of amplifiers like this, guys, if there's a switch that said, hey, all I gotta do is this and all I gotta do is this, like 10 inch, 12 inch, they'd do it, okay? But they don't, okay? So 75 is roughly good for a 12 inch subwoofer. 100 is for roughly a 10 inch subwoofer. And 125-ish is good for an 8 inch subwoofer. So I've included an ebook down below that actually gives you a chart and kind of show you for speaker size. But what I want to show you more is when you're adjusting is seeing where the dials are. Here's a good example, 10 to 50. So once again, you might go, okay, well halfway is 25. Well, no, it's not, because it starts at 10. So minus 10 from 50 is 40. So this would be 20. And in the video that I show setting the Subsonic filter for, which just say, this would probably be about 40. This would be about 30. For a sealed box is about there. All right. So consequently, like I said, on the low pass filter, I just want to guys, just get this all right here. Just give me a second. Straight up and down, it's about 100 in this application, okay? Now, bear with me. I'm going very quick on this because my more explanation with the meters is coming up shortly. Now, I just wanted to show, I'm just going to remove this off to the side and bring in this one. Okay? Now, I just want to say there is no difference. This is a 4-channel. Same idea, gain. See, that this is just I want it on high pass, low pass, or full range. Okay, so here, so if I put on full range, this does nothing. Full range means all the music. Okay, so if I want to put this one on low pass, and like I said, look, 250 and 40, so the middle is going to be 210. So if I went in here and thought that was going to be 100, I'm not. It's going to be 110. So I wanted to show you guys that all these amplifiers are slightly different. So that would roughly be about 100. All right, let's get to it. Let's get more in depth. And I hope you clear up some confusion in your head, guys. Hey guys, I just want to touch on the Subsonic filter before I jump into it, okay? One thing with Subsonic filter, it's heavily reliant on the port tuning frequency of the sub box, okay? Now I'm using an Exile 10-inch subwoofer box ported. I know the manufacturer. I reached out. I know it's tuned to 40 hertz. What I'll probably do is I'll grab a sheet, like say, from another manufacturer and say, hey, have a look, and I'll probably put it up here. And so when you're using a subsonic filter in a ported enclosure, it's very important to find out what the port tuning frequency is. Now the port does act as like a bottle, and so like what I mean by that is you go over a bottle, right? So you have to maintain the pressure in the box, and there's a point where the port makes all the noise. And I'm watering it down, guys, for the masses. Please, I'm not trying to, change the internet here, okay? But if a box says tuned at 40 hertz, it means 40 and up is pretty well played by the woofer. And then once it hits 40, the port takes over. It acts like another subwoofer. And that's why traditionally ported boxes are louder, because it kind of acts like two woofers. But the downfall is below 40, which say 35 or 30, the box and the port don't hold pressure anymore, and all of a sudden the woofer will go and it'll flap, and I mean like uncontrollably, like what's going on? Okay, so that's what a subsonic does, is it protects the woofer while giving you the extra output of a ported enclosure. And I am talking for the average Joe, not SPL, nothing special, okay? But that's the beauty of a subsonic filter. So once again, if you got a custom box built or you knew something, do the calculations, find what the the port tuning frequency is. If you don't know, tune it at 30. That's all you gotta know. All right, here we go. We're jumping right in. Carrying on, guys. So what I was going over there was the port tuning frequency. So below the port tuning frequency, the woofer and the box no longer produce energy. I'm talking for the average person, okay? I'm not talking SPL applications. I'm talking the average Joe weekender with this video is for you, all right? Okay, so if this is at 40 hertz, I want to set this, as we went through, at 30 hertz. Good rule of thumb is 10 hertz less on the amplifier. So for example, like I said, 40 here, I want to do 30 on the amplifier, and I showed you how to figure it out on the dial. Okay. Now, if it's a sealed box, the port tuning frequency doesn't make a difference because there's no port. Okay. But that being said, keep in mind when it comes to a small driver, say a 10. So like I said, the 10 subwoofer, and this box was sealed. It's not going to produce 20 hertz or even 30 hertz very well, or very minimum. So why would you want the amplifier to try to reproduce 30 hertz or 20 hertz, and it's going to take an enormous amount of energy? So what you can do is you set the same subsonic filter in a sealed box at 30 hertz. That means that this amplifier will become more efficient, and it won't try and reproduce 30 or 25 or 20 or anything below anymore. And that way that energy can now get moved up to above 30 and give you more output, more control, more power, more output, everything. And that's how you can maximize your amplifier using a subsonic filter. But once again, down below, I do have an ebook on all of this. Okay, it's light. Okay, I'm not looking for email addresses, anything like that. Just check it out. I know I might have gone over this in a previous chapter, but some people might be skimming along, so I want to make sure I address it, okay? All right, on to the next one. Hey guys, now I'm going to start the amplifier with the gain control, okay? So, or the sensitivity. Now that being said, I'm going to use a multimeter. Some people might complain about the multimeter, and a lot of other creators might say don't ever use a multimeter, but the truth is, it's actually will get you to 98%. I am going to link a video from Sonic Electronics down below, and they show where they set it with a multimeter, and then they take it to an amp dyno, which I think's the best way to do it by far. Like, it's awesome, okay? Now, hear me out. I'm going to show you some interesting things on it as well, but it's not hard, it's not challenging, but I want you to follow my order of events when I do this, okay? So first off, you're going to use a multimeter, and and you look for a V, and usually has a squiggle, okay? And this means AC, okay? Now, not the V with a direct line, okay? You want AC out, okay? Now, I go to kicker.com. They're a great partner for the community. All right, and then I go to support, and then I go to 50 hertz test tone, okay? Because we are talking mostly subwoofers right now, and I want you to envision what I'm doing right now, okay? Because honestly, guys, you got this far, let's get you that home stretch so you can have some bass going by morning, okay? All right, so I'm going to set my volume at 80. Why? Okay? Most manufacturers say that their head units are all non-distorted at 75%. Now this could be an iPod, this could be a streamer of some kind, this could be an OEM radio, this could be a Kenwood or Pioneer or JVC, okay? Now, I'm going to use 80 because I can see it a little bit easier, okay? Now, so for the example of this, here is a speaker, and it says it's rated at 320 watts max. And Pioneer's terrible for this, okay? This is not what the RMS is. And the RMS is kind of like what it'll do all day long. So if I go here to the specifications and have a look, it says the specifications are 70 watts RMS. And that means what the speaker can handle all day long, happy, do its job, and probably outlast, honestly, the lifetime of your car. Now, with math, and I'm going to send this to you guys as well, okay? 300 watts rewind, you know where I'm going then with that one. 70 watts RMS, okay, and the formula is the watts times the impedance, okay. Now the impedance, it's a 4 ohm speaker, okay. I'm going to assume, once again, you've gotten this far, you've put the amplifier in, you know what kind of subwoofers you're running, what kind of speakers. The majority of speakers for car are 4 ohm, okay. There are variations of 3 ohm, 2 ohm, 8 ohm. I would consult the box, website, manufacturer, or hey, if you don't know, call a professional and maybe go down there and get them to measure for you, okay? I'm not being facetious or rude, don't think you can do it, but just you kind of have to know to make this formula work, okay? So 70 watts at 4 ohms, that's 280, and you square root it, and I need 16.73 volts out of this, okay? So what I've done is I have the red probe is on the positive, the black one's on the negative, it's powered up. You can kind of see the little light here, but you'll see it moving anyway. And I have my computer going, like I said, to 80. And now you'll see why I want to confirm this, okay? Now, I'm going to put this into the sensitivity, okay, or gain, depending on your amplifier, okay? You'll notice it says 26 volts out. That's pretty awesome, you know what I mean? So first off, make sure all your stuff is at 0, okay? And I mean the bass on the car, the treble, everything, okay? And our number was 16.37. So I'm turning the dial. A little finer adjustment. There you go. 16.3. Good enough for a demonstration. Okay, you can play with it when you're sitting in your garage and not in front of the screen, all right? So as you can see here, so our math was 16.37. Now, I want to show you something a little bit different, okay? So, right now, you would agree that this amplifier is set to put out 70 watts. I think you kind of get my train of thought, okay? Now, if the volume was incorrectly set at 50, hold on, there we go. You'll see it says 77.6, okay? Hear me out. If I set this now, it's 16. I'm going to get rough because I'm trying to respect your time, okay? 16.4. Look, I get closer when I go fast, eh? All right. Then what happens is when I turn the volume on the radio up to say 80, because that's what we're saying, now it's doing 34 volts out. That, my friends, is how to blow your speakers. This is exactly how you do it. Okay? So I'm stressing on it that you have to make sure you set the input correctly, because this is an amplifier. It amplifies the input. So consequently, if you have it set wrong, now let's just go a little bit worse, okay? Now let me go to 100 on the volume. Well, now I'm doing 40 volts out. I'm going to smoke, Consequently, guys, 40 is more than 300 watts. Okay? That's crazy. All right? So, check, double check, check again. So, I'm going to place this at 80. Okay, so it's easy for me to see, guys. 75% volume. Take this, turn the dial, back down. Now, one thing on mine, guys, see this little lightning bolt here? This is showing me it's clipping. Now, in a rough way, guys, it's just showing me it's sending the wrong kind of voltage to the speakers. So that's what I really like about this meter. If you like this meter, I'll put a link to it if it's still available. At the time of me filming this, I don't know if this is still available, this one. But why I like this one is it's all auto, and I like that because it makes it easier for me, okay? So I'm going to set this back down to 16.7. And that was where we wanted to be. There you go, 16.5. And then my volume is at 80. Okay? It really is that easy, okay? Alright, and now, if you're worried about it, okay, 70 is a little bit small, okay? Let's just say you don't drive the car, or sorry, you share the car with your significant other or your kid or something like that, right? So you might want to do this, say go to 90, just for argument's sakes, and then bring this down to 16. Because then you know if they're in the car, they're not going to blow the speakers, okay? Now, math works, okay? So, I hope this kind of helps you with gains a little bit, but now watch this for subwoofer, okay? Because also I want to show you how this will only produce so much, regardless of the manufacturer. This is all amplifiers, okay? Now, that subwoofer box I showed you, we're doing the Subsonic filter, 300 watts, okay? So, 300 watts times 4, because I have a 4 ohm subwoofer, is 1200. Square root of 1200 is 34.6 AC. Alright, that's cool. So, for argument's sake, I'm going to set this back to 80, okay? There we go. And I said I wanted, excuse me guys, 34.6. I turn it up. 28. Which is called 34.5, okay? So, one thing is, okay, and I know there's a little bit of there's a little clip there a little bit, okay? And so it shows my amplifier is kind of getting to its, I don't know if it's this maximum, but starting to not be able to reproduce as cleanly as possible. Now,
bonus.
That being said, I want to show you something. Remember I talked about bass boost. This is your bonus tip, okay? This is bonus. Bass boost. We already know it's clipping a little bit there, or it's just saying the wrong voltage. I don't want any words clipping because there's a lot more fancier equipment than I got, right? So when I go to turn it down, you'll see a 30, okay? So even if I went down a little bit, let's say to 29, okay? So it's a little bit less than 300 RMS, it's fine. But when I go to bass boost, okay, hold on. Sorry guys, I gotta get it in the little hole here. You might go, wow, look at this thing. It goes to 48 volts now. So I went from 30 to 40. It's like 50% more power, but is it clean? And what am I actually doing? Now watch this. A lot of people will do this, okay? If I go to gain, okay, and I pin it, all right? You see a lot of people do this. They just go like this. I'm at 38.6, and we already know some bad voltage is happening. All right. When I go to bass boost now, and I go to boost it, I only got 10 volts more. So let's just say that's 15%. But what kind of 15% am I doing? Okay, so that's the only kind of thing that by bass boost is just honestly distortion maker, blow your stuff up, have a heartache. Well, it's louder. But really, what is 8 volts? And I could do the math. It's very little, and you're taking away from the longevity of your system. Okay, that's why I don't like it. Now, here's my other bonus. Let's pretend you have a very bad amplifier, okay, or head unit. And let's say at 75%. I'm just trying to show you. It was only at 3 volts. And even at full gain, all right. I know I'm going in the weeds, guys, but I'm trying to help you out a little bit more. Okay? Look at this. It only gives me 3 volts. because my source is so bad. I would say it's a radio from the 80s or whatever. And what it is, guys, is I have set it. Here, I'll go to 25. Make it easy, okay? 25. Ooh, 6 volts. Well, I'm way under. If I was running a subwoofer and the gain is cranked, now look what happens. I can use the bass boost. And because I'm underpowering it so much. Remember, our target is 34. Well, I hadn't even got halfway there yet. Now, this is the only time. Okay? Now, you might say, oh, it's 32. Let's back off. Let's get rid of that lightning bolt. There. So, if your source unit is so bad that the output can't do it. So, for example, this is what it started at. Okay? So, our target was 34, and we were only at 7. It's such a bad source unit. It could be an iPod Touch, for example. Okay? Then, and only then, am I going to use this bass boost for a subwoofer. And so as I turn it up, we've kind of determined it's at 30 that the lightning bolt comes on. There you go. Okay? So, unless it's such a really bad head and you're really getting low voltage, never use that bass boost. And I'm telling you, honestly, guys, if I give you a word of advice, but if you're severely underpowering it, you might be able to make it work, all right? Wow, we did it. We went through low pass filter, subsonic filter, and gain. Whew. Maybe it's time to get your favorite beverage, sit back, relax for 5 minutes, and take her all in. I hope your stereo is sounding as good as it possibly can right now, and I hope you're excited as well as I am for you. Now, if you have any questions, like I said, or any issues, or it's over my head, it's cool. Down below, reach out to me, talk to me, we'll figure it out. I will find someone in your area that can help you out, or maybe even the manufacturer or something, okay? We all, as a community, want you to have fun and love car audio, so don't worry about reaching out, okay? Now, it might not be the best, but I know a lot of people, all right? If you found this interesting or you want to find someone that might benefit from it, please like, subscribe, and share. It means a lot to me. It doesn't cost you a thing. And keep in mind, guys, down below, I do have that free ebook on setting up crossovers and subsonic filters for you. It is 23 pages, but I have graphs and I have charts to make it easy for you, all right? Now, if you really enjoyed this, you like the style and format, and hey, want to hang out some more, look over here. I got another video for you. Sit back, relax, and have some fun, and I hope to see you on the next video.